For functions, we have 4 problems. So here we are told this is a linear function. It's important you remember linear means line, so your head should be thinking, I'm looking at something that looks like a line. And it says that table represents a linear function. If it's a line, that means that they have a constant rate of change or a constant slope. That means your change in y over change in x is the same every time. So to get from 5 to 9, you're adding 4. To get from 9 to 13, you're adding 4. And you're adding 4. In the meantime, on the left-hand side, you're adding 2 each time. So plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. So your change in y is 4, your change in x is 2, that will reduce to 2. So that would be your rate of change, which is the same as your slope. It says which function has a greater slope and a greater y-intercept. So we'd have to find the y-intercept of this one. So let's first take a look at the slope. So here we found that this is the slope, and we know these all follow the same form, y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope. So we are looking for something that is bigger than 2, which means we have to rule out letter A, but we cannot rule out anything else. So remember that the y-intercept is where the x value is 0. So you are looking for what is your y value when your x value is 0. And I'll just draw this chart a little larger, -1 and 5. And then 1 and 9. So you know you're jumping 4 here and you're jumping 2 here. But in the middle is 0. And if you're jumping 4 totally, that would be 7. So you know that when x is 0, based on your work, your y is 7. So which one of these has a bigger b? Remember, your b is your y-intercept. Y-intercept, that would be the one that has 7.5, so it's choice B. Okay, so our next one, which equation represents a non-linear function? Remember, y equals mx plus b. So that would be linear. We're looking for non-linear. So immediately, this one jumps out at me. This is x squared. This is not x squared. I am done if that jumps out at me right away. Anytime you have a squared, remember that would be the shape of a parabola. It is a function, but it is not linear. So choice B. So this time they are asking us which represents a linear function. Remember, linear is when you have the same rate of change. So change in y over change in x, and that is your slope. So every single time it has to reduce to the same thing. It may not be the same jump every time, but it reduces to the same thing. So letter A, we are going up 1 and up 1. So that would reduce to 1. Now suddenly we're going up 15 and up 3. So 15 over 3 would reduce to 5. This would not be the same because 1 and 5 are not the same. Letter B, you're going up 2 and up 1. So that reduces to 2. Now you're going up 6 and up 3. Looking good. You've got 6 over 3. That reduces to 2. Let's check the next one. Plus 11 and plus 5. That does not reduce to 2. 11 over 5 is not quite 2. It's a little bit more than 2. So we would delete that one and say it does not work. So moving on to C, plus 2 plus 1. It has a slope of 2. Plus 6 plus 3. It has a slope of 6 over 3, which is 2. Plus 10 and plus 5 has a slope of 10 over 5, which is 2. That has to be our choice. It has a constant slope of 2. Our next one, function p is a linear function with a y-intercept of 5. Okay, so I could say, oh, it's y equals mx plus 5, right? My b is 5. Function q is -1/3 x plus 4. So this one has a y-intercept b of 4. The question is, which one of these must be true? Both functions have the same slope. Neither one talked at all about slope, so I'm going to say, nope, that does not have to be true. Both functions have a negative slope. They say nothing about that, although this one has a negative slope. It does not require us to say that both need a negative slope. They will have the same input when y equals 0. Well, if I put in y equals 0 into one that has a y-intercept of 5 and one that has a y-intercept of 4, I don't know for sure. I just really don't know. I don't know enough about them. And choice C, the functions will have different outputs when x equals 0. Well, I can be pretty certain about that. I know that your x is 0 here, and if I put in a 0, that's going to turn into 5. And if I put in a 0 here, that's going to turn into 4. That would be different outputs. One is going to be 4, and one is going to be 5. Those are not equal. So my choice is D.